Hi you guys, it's Lisa. Welcome to my channel. We're going to finish some art journal pages today. Here I'm just doing a little flip through for you. This is an art journal that I made, just a real cute little one. And it's made with some jelly plate prints. And maybe in the future, if you'd like, I will show you how to make it. Super fun, and I have been putting little pieces in here for over a year for sure, and I thought, well, let's get some more of these backgrounds finished. So today we're going to do 3 of them. So I am just showing you which ones I'm going to work on, and here I had a sentiment that was on tissue paper. Here's a stencil I thought I might use. And here is my box of scraps. This is stuff I cut out all the time when I think, oh, I like it, but I don't have a place for it. Things out of calendars, things out of cards. And here's some texture pieces I thought I might use. So I'm just digging in my drawer that I have those things. The round black things and white things and the cardboard one are all centers of tape rolls, so I might use those. This is something I got at the dollar store. I think it's for opening a can or a jar, I'm sorry. And here's my pencils and things and that I might use. My white pastel pencil, my white gel marker, my Posca marker, my watercolor brush. And so I'm just going around that sentiment that I thought I would use with my water like I've done before, and just melting that tissue paper so that we can cut that out per se. I'm hoping you're liking these series. Here is where I thought this bloom could go, because there's 3 flowers on this page, and I'm just trimming it up now with the water and my clean brush. I'm going to put it down with some matte medium. I'll list all the supplies in the description box below. Help yourself, take a look at those, see if you need anything. I'm putting on my big clips here, and I really love these big clips. I think they're only like maybe $1 a piece. I'll link them. And they really keep your art journal flat when you're working on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that tissue paper sentiment that says bloom. And this one's going to be quite easy. I'm just going to fix it up, as you'd say, or enhance it a little bit, using some pen work and then a little bit of decoration that way. So just gonna let it dry, of course, using my Micron fine liner pen, just going around those stems to give them definition. And I'm going to use the white Jelly Roll pen, Signal white gel pen for the decorations in the flowers and a little bit of marking on the sentiment. And that's it, my friends. That's all I did to finish this background piece. The next 2 will be a little bit more in depth, but I'm trying not to make these videos way too long for you. I want you to just get some ideas, go to your stash box and pick out some stuff. And if you haven't got a stash box, by all means, start one. That's a great way to just start getting inspired, is by cutting items out that you may use in your art journals or your mixed media work. So here's something that I recently picked up. It's called a paper palette, and it's for acrylic paints, and something that I'm going to use. It was really inexpensive. I think there's maybe 25 or maybe 30 sheets on this palette, and it's wax coated so it doesn't seep through. And I'm just putting down some black and white heavy body acrylic paint, and I got such a great deal on these paints. I thought I would point that out. The titanium white that I got was $7.12, and I got it on a clearance bin, and it was $1.78. So make sure you're checking out that clearance. So here I'm just putting those paint rolls in the paint on my palette paper, and I'm just making those marks. Look how cute. I think it really looks good, finishes the piece. And we have one art journal page done already. So very easy and fun. I'm gonna let that dry, of course. And here is a few things I thought I would use for the next one. And it's part of a calendar, and it said Inspire on that page. And I'm going to cut it all apart and use it as my inspiration for this next page. So that Inspire was a little bit too big for this book. So I put it right back in my stash box, and we will use it in a different project. And sometimes when I'm watching a TV show or something, I will just sit and cut stuff out. So I thought maybe this page would work because it has that yellow paint on there, and I bet you it's fossilized amber because I absolutely love that color. And so I'm putting that down. I thought that circle with the embellishments on the top right kind of looked like a sun. So I'm finding the green that goes with it, and I'm going to match up some paint. And the paint that I matched up was by Dylusions, and it's a fresh lime. I use this paint a lot. I could see that it's half empty or half full, however you want to look at it. And I'm going to use that paper palette again, put some of my green paint down, and the top there came right out. Oh, I was going to throw it away, and I thought, oh, no, I'm not going to throw that away. I'm going to go get another art journal book, and I'm going to start another background. So that's exactly what I did. And I wanted to show you. I used that circle, and I just plopped it down and started another background. Maybe I will work on this background next week so it doesn't get too old in the back of my books, and we can see what we do with it. I just used my finger and did a little finger painting, and that really makes me happy when I can make a background, start one anyways, that quickly. And already I could see some things in my stash box that would go really great on this page. So we have another background page started, and we're going to finish 2 today. So how crafty are we? Super crafty. So that's how that came about. So back to the green paint that I was getting out to use, I thought I would use this textured piece from the dollar store and put it down in that left corner there. And as I did it, I was like, oh dear, way too much texture. I couldn't see anything that was going on in the background. I really didn't care for it. I love the color, but I really didn't care for how that worked. So off camera, I ended up smudging that with my finger, doing a little finger painting work again, if you may. And first I'm adhering that piece I cut out from the calendar that looks like a sun. And I'm going to show you a little technique that I use all the time. I'm using my black marker here, and this one just happens to be a Marvy. And I'm going around all the cut edges of the piece that I cut out. It finishes the piece, and it gets rid of all of those crooked edges when you cut things out, and it makes it look much, much better. So give it a try once when you're fussy cutting out your items. You'll be surprised how much nicer and how much more finished the item looks when you are using that little technique. So I'm putting down the circles, and everything just matches so nicely with the back of this page. It almost looks like I planned it, but I did not. So here's where I smudged that green with my finger, and I did it off camera because it was really an afterthought. I didn't know that I was going to do it, and I just couldn't stand it. I'm putting that butterfly down, and you can see there was a kind of a boo-boo on the page. Something was ripped off of that area, so I'm just covering it with that butterfly wing. No one is the wiser. The sentiment's going to go there, so here's how I just smudged that, and I added a little bit to the top middle and a little bit to the middle right. And I wanted to put a little bit more of that white space back in the page. So I'm using a little bit of gesso and a dry brush, and I'm just creating another layer of texture, going over some of that green, but not all of the green. And it really blended together quite nice, and I liked it much better that way. So, yep, I put the sentiment down. You can see there on the bottom right. And I have my book here. What does that sentiment say? It says, spend energy on what matters. And then I'm finding a second sentiment, and it is, if you don't like where you're planted, uproot and move. So this book is kind of turning out to be a little bit of snarky sentiments. And I think it's super fun to incorporate all of that. These sentiments I have are already on tissue paper, and they're by Dina Wakley, and I will link them below. And if I forget something, just message me and I will get the information to you. Don't worry about asking questions or things of that nature. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking my Stabilo All pencil, and I'm using a black and my watercolor brush and some water, and I put some around the butterfly, and I'm just dragging that black out to give it a shadow behind the butterfly. Well, I felt like I had way too much there, so you'll see that I add a bunch more water, and I just wipe it up with my towel, and it's gone. So watch, here I'll do it. I just had too much. There's my water. I'm blotting it with my towel. Goodbye. Remember, it's water soluble, so that's the real nice thing. When you put your pieces of cardstock or your decorations down, you're going to put that matte gel or matte medium underneath and on top and give it a good seal, so when you use these finishing products, these water soluble things, they'll go on like a dream, and it'll allow you to wipe it off if you don't like something. So I'm just putting it around with a much lighter hand now and creating those shadows. So I'll do the rest off camera, and here is how it turned out. What a little cutie, I thought. And I'm going to get out my black chalk marker, and I'm going to do the edges like I love to do. And I'm using the black because I used the black Stabilo All pencil, and you will see that I do go back with my black Micron pen, and I do add a few little lines of black there also, so it ties it all together and it makes it all cohesive. So that is how I figured out that page, and we'll do one more together. We're just cruising right along here, aren't we? So I thought it turned out cute, and I'll have close-up pictures for you at the end. So today when I'm doing this voiceover, it's actually my birthday, and I am looking outside and it's raining out. I actually really like rainy days, so it does not bother me one bit. I am going to just stay home and create and do whatever I want. I may take a nap because I got up in the middle of the night and worked, and I just have no plans today, which is super duper fun. I'm going to a workshop tomorrow with Antonio from Stamperia. I'm taking it from him. I'm not going with him. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? I'm still trying to show them that I want to work for their company. I want to be on their design team. I am plugging right along. So every time someone turns around in that company, they are going to see me, if possible, in person, or see me in an email, or see me doing a video with their product. So wish me luck. I will post pictures on my Instagram when I get back. I'll get back tomorrow night quite late, so it probably won't be until Saturday. But try and follow me. I'm trying to get my followers growing on Instagram, and my subscribers on YouTube just reached 500. So thank you very much for anyone that has subscribed and that is sharing my videos with other people. That's how I will grow. So here, back to the video. Sorry about that. This first page I felt was already finished, but the sentiment was a little bit light, and the sentiment says, begin the journey. And I thought that was a great sentiment for the first page of this cute little book. So that one's done. The bloom is done. That's the second page. Now here's the fourth page, was that big butterfly, and I'll show you close-ups of that. But this big bird, I was like, what could I do with that? So I pulled out this tree stencil, and I thought, well, maybe it'll look like the bird is flying through the tree. We'll see. I'm using some of that Easy Tack, and I'm going to put it on the back of that stencil so I give a real good seal there. I'm just pressing it down, and I'm going to use my clips at the top, a little tag that I got out of this book, and it says soar, so I thought that was appropriate. I'm going to use my stencil brushes and my potting soil and my library green of archival ink, and we're gonna go to town here. I will get started doing a circular motion. My stencil is sticking real good, and then I'll come back here for the reveal. That's the best part, isn't it? Ta-da! Doesn't that look great? I really like it. So I needed to fix up that tag a little bit. I'm setting the tree, the art journal tree aside to dry a little bit, and I wanted to match that pink a little bit. There's a little bit of pink on that bird. So I'm just gonna add a tiny drop, and I'm going to use my finger and add some pink to that tag. Just to the edges so that it will blend together with the bird, and yeah, it works good. Pulls your eye right down to the bottom of the page there. You'll see I have a little finger cut there on my thumb. I have cracked dry skin, and I cannot get that thing to heal. So I apologize, but I needed to get that to heal. Here I am just filling in those little spaces where there is stencil area between the branches of the tree and the trunk. And I'm using my big brush pit marker, and it's the Raw Umber number 180. That seems to be my favorite one. So I'm just using that brush and adding that in there. I'm going to adhere down that little tag with my matte medium, a little bit on the bottom like we do with my brush, and a little bit over the top. So yeah, I'm going to that workshop tomorrow, and then Saturday I was supposed to go to an event which is about 2.5 hours away from my house with my friend Kathy, and it got canceled because of this coronavirus. Now, I do not know what's going to go on with that. I feel that people are really getting scared. I do not know what's going to happen. I think that my husband and I discussed it, and we're just going to take like till the end of the month to have an opinion, see what happens. Now that people are working on it and it's right to everyone's top of mind, maybe something will happen where they can get it under control. I just want everyone to be safe. I want you to stay home if you're sick, and I want you to wash your hands and cover your mouth when you cough. You know, all those things that we learned in kindergarten and first grade is what we need to do. But that's just my view. I don't know. I'm no expert at anything. That's just what I'm feeling. Back to the piece. I used my Stabilo All pencil in a brown, and I went around the tree branches. I went around the bird. I went around the sentiment with my paintbrush and my pencil, and gave shadows to the background, shadows to the piece, and now I'm using my brown Vintage Photo Distress Marker by Tim Holtz. I'm using the brown because I'm using brown tones to this piece, and that seems to be working out. I like putting a couple little marks on the page and go inward like that. I think that it makes the piece look like it's torn paper there, and it's just a little thing I like. Now I'm liking how this background or the art journal piece has turned out. I guess it's no longer a background, but I was thinking to myself that those leaves on the tree felt a little flat. They were just like laying there. They needed another color to make them pop. So I grabbed my Pitt Big Brush marker. This is permanent olive green, and it's number 167. Again, I'll link them below. And I felt like that really made those leaves pop a little bit better so you could see them stand out a bit. So you got 3 backgrounds here for art journal ideas. It's a little art journal, that's why I did 3. And I feel that they all turned out cute. I put close-ups at the end of the video, like I said. Please leave your comments, your questions, your concerns. We can talk about anything here, of course. And share this video so that maybe some of your friends or family members can subscribe. We can grow this channel, and we can hang out some more in the future. I will do some more art journal pages next Saturday, 1 or 2, maybe 3 little ones again. And we'll keep this series going. I think it's fun to work in this tiny little one. And now we've got quite a few little pages done. And if you want to know how to create this little journal, let me know. It was a fun little project. This page I thought was almost done. I just need to go around the flower and the butterfly and add a sentiment. So I might do that off camera and show you when you come back. Have a great week. Remember, Tuesdays Mixed Media, Saturday Art Journals. And we will talk to you soon. And thank you so much for stopping.